The morning sun painted golden ribbons across the surface of the cove, and Marina knew it was going to be a special day. She had promised her younger sister, Pearl, that she would teach her to find the secret sea gardens, hidden grottos, where the most beautiful underwater flowers bloomed. For weeks, Pearl had practiced holding her breath longer and mastering the delicate flutter of her fins. And now she was finally ready. Marina felt a swell of pride as she watched her little sister glide through the water, her silver tail catching the light like scattered diamonds. Their journey took them past the coral forests, where schools of bright blue fish darted between the branches like living jewels. Pearl's eyes grew wide with wonder at every new discovery. Marina pointed out a sleepy octopus tucked into a rocky crevice and a family of seahorses clinging to a patch of seagrass with their curly tails. The ocean was a living, breathing classroom. And Marina loved nothing more than being Pearl's guide through its endless mysteries. Finally, they reached the sea gardens. It was a sight that never failed to take Marina's breath away. Anemones in every shade of pink and purple waved their tentacles in the gentle current like flowers in a summer breeze. Starfish in brilliant orange and deep crimson clung to the rocks, and delicate sea fans swayed gracefully, creating a hidden paradise that felt like a dream. Pearl let out a squeal of pure joy, spinning in a slow circle to take it all in. "It's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen," she exclaimed, her voice muffled but filled with excitement. As they explored, Marina noticed something unusual wedged between two rocks. It was a small, shimmering object that didn't belong to the sea. She swam closer and discovered a beautiful locket, its silver chain tangled in a clump of seaweed. The locket was tarnished but still lovely, and when Marina gently pressed the clasp, it popped open to reveal a tiny painting of a woman with a kind smile and hair the color of sunshine. Pearl swam up beside her, her small face filled with curiosity. "Who is she?" Pearl asked. "And how did this get all the way down here?" Marina knew that objects from the world above sometimes found their way to the ocean floor, carried by currents or lost from boats. This locket, however, felt different. It felt like a story waiting to be told, a memory waiting to be returned. She closed the locket gently and tucked it into the small shell pouch she wore around her wrist. "I think," she said softly, "that this belongs to someone who misses it very much. And we're going to find a way to give it back." For the next several days, the locket became a mystery for the two sisters to solve. They asked the older mermaids in their pod if they had ever seen anything like it. They described the woman in the painting to the seagulls who nested on the cliffs, hoping they might have seen her face among the humans on the shore. Finally, an old wise turtle named Tidesong, who had lived in the cove for over 100 years, remembered something. He recalled a young woman who used to sit on the largest rock at sunset, often touching something at her neck that glinted in the fading light. He hadn't seen her in many months. Marina and Pearl knew they had to try. The next evening, as the sun began its slow descent, the two mermaids swam to the edge of the reef where the water met the shore. Marina held the locket tightly in her hand, her heart pounding with hope. They waited, watching the large rock where Tide Song said the woman used to sit. For a long time, nothing happened. Pearl began to lose hope, her shoulders slumping with disappointment. Marina squeezed her sister's hand and whispered, "Just wait a little longer." And then a figure appeared. A young woman with hair the color of sunshine walked slowly along the shore, her head bowed. She climbed onto the large rock and sat down, staring out at the water with a sadness that seemed to echo across the waves. Marina knew, with absolute certainty, that this was the woman from the locket. She swam as close as she dared, then raised her hand above the surface, the locket catching the last rays of the sun and glinting like a beacon. The woman on the rock saw it. Her eyes widened, and she leaned forward, her hand flying to her mouth. Marina gently tossed the locket, and it landed softly on the sand at the water's edge. The woman scrambled down from the rock and ran to the water, scooping up the locket with trembling hands. She clutched it to her heart, tears streaming down her face, and looked out at the ocean with an expression of pure gratitude. She couldn't see Marina and Pearl beneath the surface, but she whispered into the wind, "Thank you. Thank you so much." Pearl watched the woman's joy with a smile that lit up her whole face. Marina wrapped an arm around her little sister, her own heart full to bursting. They hadn't just found a lost treasure, they had returned a piece of someone's heart. As they swam back home beneath a sky full of stars, Marina knew that this was the greatest lesson of all. The sea held many secrets and many treasures, but the most precious gift of all was the ability to bring a little bit of light and happiness to the world above. The end. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.